Rossi outworking Drummond, throwing 144.
The smaller man, Drummond, backing up the bigger man, but backing him up, not being effective. Not backing him up behind a jab, Joe. Not moving his hands enough as Mr. Drummond. Rossi getting away with a lot. Being allowed to stay on the outside, be a little cute. Even there, little turn, he's feeling, he's feeling good right now.
Confidence from Derek Rossi, the former Boston College Eagles star defensive lineman. We asked him to tell us the difference between the individual side of boxing and the team concept of football.
The team aspect compared to the one-on-one, I have a definite grip on it. Definitely now. Prior before fights, I'm taking a nap in there. Finally for me, it's like going into that ring is like finally walking. I needed that experience. I needed that feeling of confidence in myself. And with football, you got all your friends picking you up. If you mess up, you got someone else patting you on the back, get up, keep going. In the ring, obviously, with one-on-one sports in general, you have a team, but they're in the corner, But when you're in the competition, it's you, and that was the biggest thing I thought I needed to grasp. And it took a while for me to find it, but it's here.
Started his pro boxing career back in 2004, and now here in 2009, this is the stage of his career where he says he finally feels like he's a professional fighter.
Well, it's easy to feel and perform like a pro when you're being left alone. Taking nothing away from Rossi's preparation, what he's doing tonight, but you're left alone like Drummond's leaving Rossi alone. You could go out there and act like you're Muhammad Ali.
Rossi's averaging 52 punches around so far. Drummond 35. Teddy Atlas's scorecard has it a clean sweep so far for Derek Rossi.
Now let's not forget, as Drummond falls behind, at least on my scorecard, falls behind in this fight, if he starts moving his hands, there's always hope. Rossi, he's been on the floor with a 46-year-old Ray Mercer. And as we said, both his losses by KO. But you can't KO somebody. I haven't seen it yet, Joe. I've been around boxing a long time. Haven't seen anyone KO'd by a guy that doesn't move his hands.
That's right.
Stop, break.
Unless you count the phantom punch, of course, that famous punch by Ali with Sonny Liston in their second fight.
In Maine.
But there was a punch thrown. The question with that was
the most misunderstood photograph of all time.
Hey, it's easy to get cocky. It's easy to, start crowing a little bit in there, as Rossi's starting to crow a little bit in there. Again, when you have a guy like Drummond who's walking around, he's following you, he's not cutting the ring down, he's coming in very slow, very predictably, and he throws punches like he pays for them. And by the way, he's a cheapskate.
There's a 1-2 from Rossi.
You can start to knock Rossi a little bit almost now, because Drummond's leaving him alone, Joe, but now Rossi's slowing down
He's
the
falling
punch
right
count.
into it.
Don't slow the punch count down if the other guy's not working. Build it up. Take advantage of those opportunities. You never know. You start leaving him alone, maybe he'll get a little braver. Maybe he'll suddenly start throwing punches.
There's a wide sweeping right hand.
And you see the grabbing in there? Again, the bigger Rossi doesn't have the confidence to work on the inside. Throws the right hand and he grabs. Not looking to really work. Looking to do most of his work, what you would think of as a lighter fighter, on the outside. Maybe the temperament of a welterweight and a lightweight in a heavyweight's body. And again, nothing coming from Drummond, and these rounds are pretty easy to score.
Little flurry there, end of 4. Friday night fights at the Hard Rock in South Florida. Good fight card, good main event still to come. Victor Cayo and Julio Diaz. Right now our heavyweight co-feature, and let's look at the average punches landed in the last 2 rounds. You talked about the lack of work rate from Carl Davis Drummond. 20-9 advantage for Derek Rossi. Let's bring in a man very familiar with Derek Rossi. TKO'd him a couple years back, and that is, of course, Eddie Chambers, Ring Magazine's #3 heavyweight in the world. Eddie, first off, congratulations after your recent win against Alexander Demetrenko. Size up what you're seeing out of Derek Rossi. You know him well. You were in the ring with him. What do you see out of him tonight?
Well, I see him evolving as a fighter. He's learning more. You can see he's boxing a lot better, moving around the ring, using ring generalship as opposed to when we fought some years back, just trying to muscle through, and just because he's the bigger man, just attack. Now he's thinking his way through the fight, making good decisions, using his jab, feints. He's doing everything right now.
Yeah, of course he's doing all that, Eddie. He's not in there with Eddie Chambers.
Yeah, you're right about that.
A little easier when you're in there with a guy who's not throwing punches at you, isn't it?
That's definitely true. If you're just standing there taking punches, it's a lot easier to land, believe me.
Eddie Chambers with us all night long. Thanks, Eddie.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie.
There's a lead uppercut. Came back with a right hand uppercut, did Rossi.
And right now, Rossi's just walking, drumming around the ring, and that's all he's doing. He's navigating. He's not really out fighting Drummond, even though he's out working him, but he's out maneuvering him. He's walking him into things. He's moving around the ring, keeping Drummond off balance, which is not hard to do because Drummond keeps himself off balance. He just doesn't throw. But Rossi, you can see, has a little bit of a plan. Stays on the outside, tries to pick Drummond coming in.
Which is not what he had early in his career when he described himself as not being a professional fighter yet, still being a guy making the transition.
Yeah, and you see right here, again, he's pot shotting. He's looking for spots, he's sneak attacking, the uppercut. With a little more confidence, he could get more done because, and I'm sure Eddie would agree with this, just a moment ago, Rossi landed a nice uppercut, but he grabbed on the inside instead of looking to work. And again, that's his lack of amateur background, that's his lack of confidence. But he's growing a little bit as this fight goes on. But again, you can see on the inside, not a lot of work from the bigger Rossi.
Still another successful round here out of Derek Rossi.
And everything being done for the most part on the. He has to be careful there, Joe. Little reaching in could be an opportunity by Drummond.
See if Drummond can pick up on that and catch him one. There is Julio Diaz, the former two-time titleist at a critical juncture in his career. He'll be in our main event tonight against Victor Cayo. 22-0 Victor Cayo, the unbeaten prospect from the Dominican Republic. You talk about confidence. Cayo is full of it, and he has a big one tonight, stepping up to face Julio Diaz. That is set to come your way in our main event.
You just touched on something for our main event that makes it very interesting, I think, for our audience to stay tuned and the way to take a peek at. You talk about the confidence of the 22-0 untested, undefeated Cayo, and it's so important for Diaz to take that confidence away. So that means it's important for the more experienced Diaz to get a good start, Joe. Not to let that confidence grow. If he does that, Diaz could be in a lot of trouble.
And Diaz, of course, is coming off of a TKO loss, a stunning TKO loss.
So the beginning of that fight is more important.
Crucial.
Than sometimes fights you are as far as the beginning, quarters of it. Where, as you just said, Diaz has to immediately basically say, you don't belong here. Start putting that in the head of the confident Cayo.
There's a good combination from Derek Rossi. Nice work with the right hand. Round 6 of our heavyweight co-feature, Carl Davis Drummond was not working enough. In that last round, Rossi had a 23-6 connect advantage, and that's been the tone that's been set all night long.
I tell you, if there was such a thing as an allergic reaction to too many punches, neither one of these guys would ever sneeze. I mean, there'd be no rash on Drummond.
Not at all.
I mean, he wouldn't break out at all.
No. Rossi's just dealing with what's in front of him. Yet he could work more, no doubt about it.
Yeah, he
and
could
take
do
more advantage of it. But he's taking what's given to him and just coasting along here. And Drummond is not pressing the gas enough. Clean shutout on Teddy's scorecard.
And again, taking nothing away from Rossi, but he's not being forced to outfight Drummond. He's just out navigating him. You know, he's just outmaneuvered him. I mean, he turned his back.
Yeah, and
you know,
Drummond didn't chase him down.
And Drummond left him alone. Someone needs to tell Drummond this is a fight. You know, and it's going to be over before you know it. And you can't be talking in the locker room about what you didn't do. It's time to be thinking about what you need to do. And now.
Right hand from Rossi again.
And you know why that right hand came? Because Drummond walked straight in with no jab. If there was a jab coming from Drummond, that right hand probably doesn't come from Rossi because he goes defensive.
4 rounds to go. See if Drummond can find a spark.
Let's take a look at the action from tonight so far. Rossi, all Rossi, picking the spots, fighting on the outside, you know, getting the hands off quick, pot shotting a little bit, navigating around the ring.